light we need to find our own paths.
So we're not singing today, but you're welcome to rise, embody your spirit, and just get into the action here. And we'll have the words up on the screen so you know what we're imagining while we pass the torch.
If you could pass them so that they come to the front eventually.
And we'll invite forward Sandy for the opening words.
You ever have one of those days? When your children save your butt? What Are You Here For? By Quinn G. Caldwell. If you came to this place expecting a tame story, you came to the wrong place. If you came for a story that does not threaten you, you came for a different story than the one we tell. If you came to hear of the coming of a God who only showed up so that you could have a nice day with your loved ones, then you came for a God whom we do not worship here. For even a regular baby is not a tame thing, and goodness that cannot threaten complacency and evil is not much good at all. And a God who would choose to give up power and invincibility to become an infant for you certainly didn't do it just so you could have dinner. But if you came because you think that unwed teenage mothers are some of the strongest people in the world, if you came because you think that the kind of people who work third shift doing stuff you'd rather not do might attract an angel's attention before you, snoring comfortably in your bed would. If you came because you think there are wise men and women to be found among undocumented travelers from far lands, and that they might be able to show you God, if you came to hear a story of tyrants trembling while heaven comes to peasants, if you came because you believe that God loves the animals as much as the people, and so made them the first witnesses to the saving of the world, if you came for a story of reversals that might end up reversing you, if you came for a tale of adventure and bravery where strong and gentle people win and the powerful and violent go down to dust, where the rich lose their money but find their lives and the poor are raised up like kings. If you came to be reminded that God loves you too much to leave you unchanged, if you came to follow the light, even if it blinds you, if you came for salvation and not safety, then, my friends, you are in the right place.
Our service today is about the Christmas stories. It's a 3-act play about Christmas stories. And we might ask ourselves the question, why do you tell these stories? Because after all, they are just stories. Why these stories? Well, our Unitarian Universalist faith grew out of Christianity. Our first split with mainstream Christians was our insistence that Jesus was human, not God. So the human Jesus is an important figure in our history. So we retell the stories. And our service today is a play based on the various versions, 3 of them in fact, all 3 of the Christmas stories that are in the Bible. So, let the stories begin.
Of course, we have the elemental Unitarian Universalist liturgical tradition of the announcements at this point. So, hello everybody, I'm Isabel Call, pleased to be the minister of this fellowship. And our few announcements here. First of all, you'll see the speakers are wearing masks today. We are experimenting with this captioning, so I'm getting cheers for that. Part of what this means is that those of you joining us on Zoom, we can see everything you put in the chat, or at least the people who can see the little print. So just know that what you're typing will be shared with everyone here, including people who can't chat back. Also wanted to let you know, if you're here in person and you're having trouble hearing, you can go to the back and get a headset at any point, and Doug will help you put it on. The fellowship here is going to be closed during the week after Christmas. So that means if you need anything, ask for it before then. Staff will be unavailable by phone or email during the week after Christmas, except for me for pastoral emergencies. You're welcome to call me. Finally, I want to let you know, remind you about our Christmas Eve plans. So we'll be gathering here at 7 p.m. on Friday, Christmas Eve. We'll be having a contemplative space in here in the sanctuary. It will be candlelit, it will be quiet, and you will have the opportunity to interact with 3 different tables. You won't be interacting with each other in here, just with your own thoughts. And we will be having 3 tables. There will be a traditions table. We have an example here with nativity scenes. You're welcome to bring any traditional objects for Christmas or solstice or any other holidays you celebrate this time of year and set them up on the traditions table. We will have an admire table for other sacred objects, and we have an example of that here. So you're welcome to bring objects of special significance to you that you want people to look at and enjoy. And you're welcome to bring a little written piece about that and share it and put it on our admire table. And then near the door, we will have a takeaway table. That's a place to bring special objects that you think are beautiful, that you think hold something sacred, something magic that you're ready to let go, to live with a new person. So we'll have that takeaway table to bring things and find something new to take home. So that'll be Christmas Eve, contemplative, quiet, candlelit space in here. And then outside, weather permitting, we will have a campfire and carols singing. We'll still be wearing our masks while we're singing. And cider. So bring a mug for cider outside. All right, and now I'll invite Larry back up.
Words from the prophet Micah. What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God? Isabel will light the chalice, and may the light of this chalice inspire us to find ways to do justice and to love mercy and to be humble about it, because we will often screw up. The first act in our play of the story of Jesus' birth comes from the book of Matthew in the Bible. The story in Matthew is aimed at Jewish followers of Jesus. It begins with a genealogy going back to Abraham, the founding father of Judaism.
Bright star. What could be its meaning? What could be its meaning? What is this bright star? See,
Here is an idea. Maybe the bright star signals the birth of a king, a divine king. That's what.
Well, if that's true, we need to find him and worship him. It's important to be on the good side of any king.
Here are our camels. Let's follow this star.
Oh, well, we need gifts, really worthy of a king. How about gold? Yeah, gold.
And incense. Because the king is also a god.
I've got a bad feeling about this. I'm going to bring myrrh to bury him with.
The star is so bright, it will be easy to follow.
Three kings are engaged in their long journey across the desert from Persia to Bethlehem, or actually first to Jerusalem. But meanwhile, back in Bethlehem, Mary and Joseph are there. And Mary and Joseph, or Joseph in particular, has a problem.
I don't know what to do. I've been planning to marry Mary, but she just told me she's pregnant, and, well, that really wasn't our plan. I mean, I'm not ready to be a parent yet, and I thought I'd be more involved in the decision about when to start a family. Is this really the way we want to start out together? Maybe we should go our own ways, but her path won't be great as a single mom in a patriarchal society. But shouldn't I be happy too? I'm exhausted. I can't think anymore. Gonna take a nap.
So Joseph leans back and takes a nap. He drifted into a deep sleep and started to dream. In his dream, an angel appeared to him and said, "Joseph, son of many wise, unnamed women, do not be afraid to be Mary's partner, because she is awesome and she's having a miracle baby. Don't miss being a part of their lives. You'll not regret it."
Oh my God, that was a weird dream. But I feel better. I just remembered. I love Mary. I want to be there for her and whatever comes.
Now, meanwhile, in Jerusalem, the Roman governor Herod is sitting on his throne.
O mighty King, we have seen a star, and we are looking for the King, the God, that it must indicate. You must know where he is.
We have seen the star that signals the birth of a king. He is somewhere near here.
What king? Well, go and find him and bring him back to me. So the news that he has, I can worship him also.
Meanwhile, in Bethlehem, Mary has given birth to Jesus. They're in a house. The baby is in a bassinet. They're seated on chairs.
I'm a little confused here. I mean, I thought they were supposed to be in a stable with a baby in a manger.
Not in this story. That's a different story. A future king would not be born in a stable. In this story, he is born in a house.
We have come to see your son. Your son will be a king. We have seen his star and have come to worship him.
Here are our gifts: gold and frankincense and myrrh.
I had a dream.
Me too.
We must not go back to the way past to see Herod. We'll sneak back home by a different way.
Where are those astronomers? I don't think they're coming back. Those fools tricked me. But I'll beat them. Kill all the baby boys in Bethlehem.
This scary part of the story reminds the Jewish audience of the story of Moses, their great hero. In that story, too, a king orders baby boys killed. Now, what about the baby boy Jesus? Joseph has another dream. And quickly leaves, taking Mary and Jesus to Egypt again, like Moses, who grew up in Egypt. But that's enough for the Christmas story in Matthew.
The reason we tell old stories is that they remind us of things that are happening in our lives now. So today, along with some of these Bible stories, we're going to be hearing stories from the lives of people in our community. In a moment, you'll be hearing from our own Katie Kingery Page. Like Joseph and the astronomers, she has had an important dream that changed her life.
I think that might be my cue. I'm happy to be sharing a dream with you all. And the dream I want to share is one I had when I was about 20 years old. And like a lot of young people, I was going through all kinds of growth and change and figuring out who I was. A lot of it, the kind of typical searching and dark existential times that young people go through. And some of it was more extraordinary kinds of challenges and things. Sometimes some of them were dark things. And the dream I had, I remember that it was dark and I was in a city. And if you've ever been to a city with an elevated train, like a light rail or the L in Chicago, I was up on the train tracks, but I wasn't in my human body. I was the train. And I was barreling through the night, the darkness in this city. And somehow as the train, I could feel and I could see. And as I was charging forward on my tracks, suddenly the tracks disappeared, they fell away. And instead of the train crashing down to the ground or something terrible happening, the train, which in the dream was my body, turned into a flock of butterflies. And I just exploded into all of these butterflies, which I'm trying to recreate by dropping butterflies here in front of you. And it was an incredible feeling. It was a flying dream in which I just became all of these creatures that were flying through the night. And I think the reason that it stuck with me all these years, 27 years later, I still remember this dream, is that it was a very powerful essence of being able to overcome hard things and to come up out of darkness.
This Christmas story told by Luke is very different from the story told by Matthew. This Christmas story is aimed at everyone, non-Jews as well as Jews. In this story, the genealogy goes back not just to Abraham, the founder of Judaism, but all the way to Adam, the father of us all. And here, Jesus is born in a manger, in a stable, because the inn was full.
I like it here in the dark.
Yeah, the sheep like it too.
Don't be afraid. We bring good news of a great joy that will come to all people. A baby is born. All people, not just kings and priests and wise men.
Lady, we saw an angel.
We really did. And then there were lots of them.
It told us to come and find your baby, that he would somehow save the world.
We should go tell others what we've seen.
I will remember this forever.
And that is the story, the Christmas story, in the book of Luke. Luke wants to make it clear that the message Jesus brings is for all people, that shepherds are as important as kings, just as our children in RE sing, each person is worthwhile.
Our offertory today, our offering today, and throughout the month of December, is collected to benefit the Riley County Humane Society. Because we love animals. As a cat enthusiast, I can say from personal experience that pets are the ideal spiritual advisors, and it is right that we share our resources to bring them to comfortable homes. You can donate online to the Humane Society, to the UUFM General Operations, to support our blessing box, or to the Afghan Families Fund at www. I don't know if there's W's actually. It's uufm.net/donate. If you have an offering to give today in person, you can put it in the basket at the back of the sanctuary. Also, please feel free to share your joys and sorrows on the slip of paper in the seats in front of you, or via the chat if you're joining us here on Zoom. Our offertory today will be a piano version of the song, Rise Up, Shepherd, and Follow. If you don't know it, I'm going to share the words with you now. Notice how this song blends the stories we've just heard with Matthew's astronomy and Luke's sheep. Oh, there's a star in the east on Christmas morn. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. It will lead you to the place where the Savior's born. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Leave your ewes and leave your rams. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Leave your sheep and leave your lambs. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Follow, follow. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Follow the star to Bethlehem. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Thank you, Renee. Christmas time at its best is a reminder that we are all worthy, that miracles are born in even the most unlikely of places. I'm so glad that we're gathered here together to enjoy this basic, joyful truth, to play with it together. But Christmas time is also really challenging for a lot of people. It's challenging because some people don't have good memories associated with this holiday, or some people have grief about good times in the past with loved ones who are no longer here. And it's a time of year that is often dark and cold. Depression is really common at all times, but especially in the winter. And honestly, this time of year, it's totally natural to want to spend all day in your pajamas and not do anything. So if you want to stay in your pajamas all day and not do anything, you're not alone. If you're not feeling at your best, you're not alone. And we have a pandemic now and weird weather making reality feel like a bad dream. So if you're not at your best, you're not alone. No matter what's going on, know you're not alone. Let's take a few breaths together, aware that we're together in the silence, both here in the sanctuary and on Zoom, and sending some good energy to our friends who will be watching a recording of this service in the future. So we had quite a few joys and sorrows, mostly joys today that people have shared. I'll share them with you. We have from Tom Phillips, remembering the Beatles. When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, will you still be sending me a Valentine when I'm 64? Does this mean it's your birthday? Yes, happy birthday, Tom. Betty Banner shares that our holiday sale was very successful. She thanks everyone who participated in any way, buying, selling. Our final figures are not in, but we made more than $1,000 for the treasury. So, thank you, everybody. Susan Adamchuk shares, I'm happy to tell you that 2 more Afghan families arrived safely in MHK on Friday evening, and another is expected this week. Thank you for your ongoing support. Anna shares, looking forward to being with daughter over Christmas and knowing so many UUs, I think. She thanks us for all our talents, creativity, and generosity of time. The celebration of the closed captioning from Ken Embers and Ken and Pat are glad their daughter Sheila is with us. Yeah. Did I get it right, Sheila? Yeah. And Jane Pelletier says, it was supposed that my sister had cancer. The surgery, I think this says was over the weekend, showed no cancer. So big relief, big relief. So, another breath together to let these joys and sorrows into our hearts and our bodies, and to honor all of those that remain silent in our hearts. And I'll remind you again of the words of Reverend Quinn Caldwell. If you came here for a tale of adventure and bravery, where strong and gentle people win, and the powerful and violent go down to dust, where the rich lose their money but find their lives, and the poor are raised up like kings. If you came for salvation and not safety, then my friends, you are in the right place. Wherever you are right now, beloveds, you are in the right place.
But there is yet another Christmas story, the one in the book of John, and it is a bit weird.
In the beginning was the Word. And no darn masks. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. And things were made through him. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us.
That's it. That's the Christmas story according to the book of John.
Wait, no wise men, no shepherds, no angels, no Santa Claus?
No, none of the above. Jesus is the Word in this story, and this story appealed to those of the early Christians who saw Jesus as a purely divine being, simply clothed in a human body, unlike Unitarian Universalists, or Unitarians at the time, who saw Jesus as human, just like the rest of us.
But if Unitarians didn't see Jesus as the divine word, different from all humans, we have nonetheless revered the Word. We are many of us people of many words. There is something sacred about putting an idea or an experience into words and sharing them with others, or just with ourselves. In a moment, our own Sandy Nelson will be back up here to share a story from her own life of the power of words. Afterwards, or shall I say after words, you'll have a chance to do some writing yourself with some shared paper and pencils. So while we listen to Sandy, we're going to pass around some hand sanitizer so we're not sharing our germs.
There might be hand sanitizer on various plates scattered around as well. As many of you know, I came to Manhattan to go to K-State as a freshman, and I was what I thought to be a slightly older freshman with a few years of life under my belt. So English composition for freshmen was not really something I was excited about. But I sat there in class when the teacher asked us, or explained to us the first day of class, that we were going to have a write-in assignment to assess how good we were at that stage. Didn't give any idea what the assignment was going to be. Next day, showed up, given those blue pamphlets, empty, pencil. Okay, you're going to write about an influential person in your life. Okay, so I thought, made some notes. My mom, right? I'm real close to my mom. My mom's been an influential person in my life. I didn't have anything to say. I didn't know what. The words weren't coming. Okay, my dad. My dad clearly was an influential person in my life. The words just didn't come. I did have a very recently ex-boyfriend, Ed, who was definitely an influential person in my life, especially how recently he was at that moment an ex, because he taught me about lying and cheating and stealing and sex and drugs and rock and roll and politics and religion and a whole lot of other things. And the words just started coming out. And, you know, it was freshman English, so it was, outline and headers and 3 little bullet points in each little heading, and then there were 5 little bullet points in each little heading, and then there were a whole lot of other things to say about it. And I only had an hour, so, wrote the assignment, turned it in, felt pretty good. I actually got a really good grade on it, too, which was affirming. But then I had some days to really think about what I had written. And it turns out my mother and my father were very influential in my life because of how I perceived all of those things that I had written down and not realized that I'd carried with me. And it was life-changing, because at the end of the week, that following Sunday, I believe, I signed the book and joined this fellowship. And 6 months later, I met my lifelong partner of now plus more than 40 years. So I think I did okay after I purged all that into words.
Thank you, Sandy. In the beginning, there was the Word, and then there was change. So we're going to be doing a ritual together. And this is in preparation for our gathering together on Christmas Eve in this space. If you can't be here in person on Christmas Eve, that's okay, because you have an opportunity now to make your presence known here. So like I said, on Christmas Eve, we're going to be having some tables or some altars in here. It will be a quiet, candle-lit space. And our altars are being set up by a wonderful team. We have Pat Embers and Sylvia Beeman, Kathy Swenson, and Diane Barker. So I want to give a special thanks to them for creating this space, and a special acknowledgement too that Diane is going through a hard time. I forgot to share it earlier in the joys and sorrows, but she lost her husband, Chris Ross, last Sunday. And so we're thinking of her with love and care and so much gratitude that she is with us, she's a part of us, and that she's in this space with us in her own way. So we'll have the traditions table, the admire table, and the takeaway table, and we'll have in this space our spirits, our energy, and our words. People will be coming and going, listening to beautiful music and stories in this space. It will be a quiet time of reflection for all that the year has been, all that's come, and all that's gone. And I want to invite you to bless that time, to bless the people who will be here with your words. We'll be passing around paper strips. You can write a blessing on the strip. It can be one word, it can be a phrase, or it can be a sentence. This is your blessing to our community, to those gathered here and those far away. So we'll be passing out those words, those strips. Now you can write your words on. So after you write on them, we will be passing around staplers, and you'll be making chains with them. So you'll make you'll loop your paper around somebody else's loop with the staple. So you can choose whether you want to have your words on the inside or the outside of the chain. But some point after Christmas, know that we will be opening up the chain and giving out the slips of paper. Now, those of you who are in Zoom, you are welcome to participate, and we're actually going to put you up here on the screen. So if you'd like to have your faces here for everybody, turn your camera on, and if you don't, turn your camera off. So you're welcome to put in the chat what you would like written on a slip of paper, and Rob will do that for you. if you have more loops, more chains, and more slips of paper, you're welcome to bring them up after the service. And you can also check out our starter altars up here too after the service.
All the stories we've shared today resonate with Unitarian Universalists. We got our start as heretics who rejected the divinity of Jesus that John's story suggests. Jesus the King in the Matthew story expresses in traditional language our own hopes of building a better world, of bringing the kingdom of God to earth. And when we push for policies that benefit all folks in our community, we're living life as the people that the story of as the people did that the story of Luke talked about. Unitarian Universalism today embraces far more than the Christian views these stories represent. We take our inspiration from many sources, but these stories are one of those sources. We'll now hear closing words from Kim.
Against a stark gray sky, 2 tall evergreens are decked with simple white lights. We remember the Magi, observers of stars, evidence-based seekers, who found their way to kneel before a baby. May we too kneel before life's intricate mysteries, following the path of science-based searchers for truth. We remember Mary, birth mother of a revolutionary prophet, the fetus in her womb a surprise, her choice a decision to magnify her hope, the birth difficult, attended by a beautiful diversity of animals in a ragtag gathering of vulnerable people. May we too kneel at the cradle of Earth's dreams for peace and dedicate ourselves to revolutionary love. We remember Joseph, unexpectant father, who embraced the baby as his own, believing that every child has a God-given entitlement to love and care. May we too stand by the women and children of this world when patriarchal privilege and power threaten their freedom and put their well-being at risk. We remember the angels singing in a cold night to the overtaxed poor, promising peace and goodwill to all. May we echo their song in acts of solidarity and justice for all souls, refugee souls, green souls, disabled souls, Black souls, young souls, transgender souls. May we join the bold, holy movement to bring heaven to earth. May the morning star brighten our hope for a new day, and may laughter strengthen all our prayers. Amen.
Amen. So I would like to express my thanks, and I think everybody's thanks, for all the love and energy and time that went into this service. So specifically, a thank you to Larry for the Bible stories and the years of sharing them with kids in religious education. To Sandy for your story, for the props and the extensive consultation. For our stagehand, Lily. For our choir of angels. To Renee for the work with the choir and just the amazing amount of piano that's been throughout the whole service. To Doug and Rob for amazing sound. There may be others I'm forgetting, but I also want to bring up all of our actors, those of you who are around, so you can take a bow. We had come on up. We have our wise folk, Sylvia, Dick, and Kathy. Shepherds, Sarah and Dan. I think that was actually Sarah and Kathy. Our sheep, Charlotte and Amelia. Our angel, Mark. Herod, Tom. Our advisor to Herod, I didn't catch his name. What was his name? Josiah. We had Mary, played by Indigo, and Joseph, played by Rose, and our wonderful disembodied voice, Jean. So come on up and take a bow. Thank you all so much. And thanks to everyone for being here. Go in peace, go in joy, and tell your own stories of joy and transformation.